It's another new month, and you know what that means. It's time for another round of the Metal Gear World Record Update video. Today, for August 1st, we'll look back at the month of July 2023 and see what people have done in order to claim new world records, and also, especially this time, what other news we have in the Metal Gear series. So let's get started right away. The first big piece of news that we have is that in Metal Gear Solid 4, we're now allowed to use the RPCS3 emulator for speedrunning purposes. That means you can now submit under a new category, specifically emulator runs, which makes, of course, Metal Gear Solid 4 a little bit more accessible. You still need a very powerful rig, like decent enough by modern standards, and at least that way, if people don't have a PS3 or don't want to get a PS3 just for this game, they can still participate. It's separated from console runs, so emulator runs will always be, their own split category, both for full game and of course the individual levels. And we also have a few runs that already have been posted now. Check out, of course, the link in the description down below if you want to see more and read, for example, this news article at your own pace. But yeah, on the latest full game version, which is on the latest full version, which is 0028, you can start downloading the emulator, play the game, and you must limit your game at 60 FPS. Other than that, there are only recommended settings and crash patches that you have to apply, and you're good to go. There's also a full explanation video by Sir Schmuckle linked down below if you want to see how he set up his emulator so you can recreate it and then hopefully also can participate in the speedrun. So what's really cool is Sir Schmuckle did not only did a lot of testing, as did I, but he also has finished the first run without a crash here on the latest emulator version and got a new time for full game, New Game Plus, Liquid Easy, or the very easy difficulty. His time is currently 1 hour 58 minutes and 33 seconds, which is definitely not bad, but we have to say, if you compare that to the console leaderboard, which is way more optimized, there we see, Sir Schmuckle has his own world record at 1 hour 53 minutes and 20 seconds on console, so the emulator run still has a long way to go in terms of optimization and updating the PB. But for the first submission here, definitely not bad to have a sub 2 hour run. And of course, as it goes, he also submitted at least one IL level as well, which we have here for the first act, where you can play through the first act entirely, take the IGT from the time we load into save and at the score screen, and then see what the difference is, and that's the submission for IL, and that currently runs at 30 minutes 52, which is definitely faster than console, because the console time here, on the other hand, actually is 40 minutes and 12 seconds, also by himself. So yeah, big update here for Metal Gear Solid 4. If you people want to learn how to run Metal Gear Solid 4, there's also a video linked by Sparty down below. He's basically the master of Metal Gear Solid 4. And he has a great tutorial to teach you how to do New Game Plus on the Liquid Easy difficulty. There are saves that are already prepared for New Game Plus on SRDC that you can download and put on your console, and then also convert to RPCS3. And then you too can also participate in this leaderboard. It looks more daunting than it is. I've just started speedrunning the game myself, but I can tell you for sure that it's quite fun actually. It's not that bad as maybe some people like to think. It really comes down to a lot of action and also a few segments where we have some downtime, like in Act 3, for example. Talking of downtime, we also have another world record update, and that is the series that has seen basically the least action in forever. That is Metal Gear Acid. Metal Gear Acid, of course, in case you didn't know, is like a little spin-off game based on the Metal Gear universe, and it's basically a card game. You draw cards, you play them out, you have different actions that you do based on those cards. If you walk on a field like a board game, or you can, for example, shoot or throw grenades, or do actually a lot of varied things, considering this is only a card game. And the prestigious title of World Record Holder for New Game this time goes to XX Sayod XTOS XX. I hope he's fine if I just call him Siotos or something like that. Bit of an awkward name, but in any case, came in, got the new world record for a new game here on easy difficulty, which is the standard one, and we have a time of 5 hours and 28 minutes, which is absolutely great, because the update that he did just a few days later then is 4 hours and 55 minutes, which is incredible to see a sub 5 hour time for a new game here, Metal Gear Acid, and kudos to you for going after that game. It's definitely great to see more action in these like spin-off games, and I know New Game Plus already is still 3 hours because of the story that you need to play through and it's optimized, but having a sub 5 hour run on New Game though, that's definitely good to see. And also, there was no rest for him here. We also went on and got Metal Gear Acid 2, a new world record here. As you can see, this is the new time. It's still pending in the queue, but I'm sure the moderators will soon verify it. And then the new time for new game easy difficulty will be 2 hours and 50 minutes. That time definitely beats the previous record as done here by Plywood on new game by at least 11 minutes here in IGT. Something that also didn't see much action is the Peace Walker category extensions, and one of them is kind of a cool run to watch actually. It's first ending, 80%, but with all the maximum new game plus things that you can have. Which means you gotta grind out for multiple hundreds of hours the game to get the best items possible. And if you want to see how that looks like, then if you're gonna go through all the main ops from start to finish after you get the first ending, then you can watch Now Kitty Goes do this feat in 1 hour and 90 minutes and 13 seconds. The previous time before that was done 3 years ago by Sergeant Silent, and he got a time of 1 hour and 27 minutes. So 8 minutes improvement, kudos to you. And once again, I can just really recommend, if you want to watch this game being run New Game Plus with like all the best items versus New Game, it's a huge difference between those two. What also is a huge difference is the track that we see here from Suave Beardson, who sat down this last month to go down the rabbit hole of all Dogtags for the hard difficulty on Emulator. There were no runs before, and his run started out with quite a good time, I would personally think. 1 hour and 6 minutes and 31 seconds. Definitely nothing to shrug off. Got all the Dogtags and got a great time here, but he wasn't satisfied. He continued to grind, and then just a few days after that, he got a new time of 1 hour and 5 minutes and 29 seconds. And you know, you could leave it there. You could maybe try to go even lower. On hard difficulty, it gets, of course, harder and harder to get low times because the boss fights take longer. But just 1 day ago, he sat down and got even a new battle record. And you can see it on screen here now. That is the 1 hour, 3 minutes and 1 second update by more than 2 minutes. He beat his own PB and, of course, world record here to get a new time that's really awesome. A 1 or 2 definitely still is possible, he says himself, but for just playing this for a few weeks, sitting down and grinding out and comparing strategies and look at what other difficulties did, it's a great update to that previously empty category that now has at least 3 new times that people can look at, and definitely at a decent time right now, sitting at the world record here by Suave Beardson. And what's really cool is with the new SRDC update, we can also see a graph line like this now. So as we see here, 4th of July, sat down 1 hour and 6 minutes. Then 3 weeks later, roughly, we have a time of 1:5:29, and now just a week later, we got the 1:3:01. Amazing. Extreme, for example, is still empty, so that's the next chance, maybe, for him to go after he's done with hard difficulty. But even the hard console difficulty so far is completely empty, so getting all Dogtags console hard, now we have a layout at least, and if somebody wants to redo the run but then on console, there's also another world record they can grab there for free, basically. What's also free is the slot that Repeats holds in every month of these updates. I think there has not been 1 month in the last half year where Repeats wasn't featured here as a new world record holder. And that speaks to both the level of effort that Repeats puts into just running MGS1 and barely anything else, but also how sometimes these categories are more open than people like to think. Yeah, you gotta put in some work, but not every run has been ground out to total perfection from D-Lams 13. And so we see here, for example, hey, we got 3 new updates for Glitchless. The first one here is 1 hour, 22 minutes and 23 seconds by Repeats for the category Emulator and Easy Difficulty, which, as we see here by the graph, has already seen quite a few updates. D-Lams 13's previous record was a 1:22:53, and so the new update goes down by 30 seconds. Congratulations. Then we have normal difficulty Glitchless on Emulator with 1 hour 25:35, and that actually was the first update in a while since the original category has been posted and updated here by D-Lams 13. So a 1:26:11 has been beaten by quite some good margin here, almost a minute, 36 seconds difference. Congratulations. And last but not least, we also have an update here for the very easy difficulty with 1 hour, 50 minutes and 2 seconds being the new record right here. And we see it also in the graph that it has been a while, March of last year, where the time has been beaten. And this time actually has been beaten only by 20 seconds, but still has been beaten. Last but not least, there's also one update here to a larger IL, which is the disc 1 in the all bosses category. So what you do is you play all bosses category, but only go through the first disc. It can omit, for example, grabbing certain items in any % disc 1 IL. We don't need to go back into Tower B and grab this thing after we delete it from our inventory. But in all bosses, it basically just comes down to having a regular run and doing it as clean as possible while omitting a few weapons and ammunition. And here, the new time, as we can see by repeats, is a respectable 46 minutes and 51 seconds. And as you notice in this video, we went back in time more and more and more. We got to older and older games. So for the final game that we update here, I just quickly want to shout out a few feats that I've done myself. I mean, they're world records, so I guess I'll just feature them quickly here. For Metal Gear 2 Solid Snake, there have been new updates happened just at the beginning of July, where we have a new world record, or basically, you know, also just a first submission to the category, where we play on the original MSX2 computer, played on emulator, and got 100% completion here with a time of 2 hours, 70 minutes and 20 seconds. And then also additionally we got a new world record here on the Nintendo Wii, where we played through the game in any % category on the Wii version of Metal Gear 2 Solid Snake. And with that emulator talk, that brings us back to the beginning. So one final shout out at the end of the video, of course. If you want to participate in Metal Gear Solid 4, check out the links in the description down below, where there's a tutorial how to set up RPCS3 and how to speedrun the Liquid Easy category. Great time to be had, so check that out. Of course, I'll also link you down below the video where I explain how to set up OpenMSX if you want to participate in the old Metal Gear 1 and Metal Gear 2 MSX versions of the game. I've been the only person so far that has submitted to the MG2 MSX categories, and I think there's some value in running these as well. And so with that, thank you everyone for watching, of course. Stay tuned for another great month coming up in August. I'm pretty sure as we get closer and closer to Master Collection, people will pick up more of these games again to derust and maybe even get new world records. And once October comes around, I'm looking very much forward to the episode I will do on November 1st. It will be a banger with all these new versions of the old games coming out. So I'm excited for the next few weeks and see which people will maybe come back, derust, and maybe even get a new world record. But until then, thanks everyone for watching, have a nice day, and of course, my name is Hustis, and I'm out for today. Bye bye!